So while in the interview, a great way to set yourself apart from 90% of the competition as well is to ask questions. We talked about this last week in interviews. When that interviewer is finished up and they say, well, do you have any questions? Have you guys ever heard that in an interview? So do you have any questions? They always do it. People always ask, do you have any questions? Unfortunately, I'm going to go ahead and say 100% of the time, all right? Yeah, I know there's somebody out there that doesn't do it, but they're the exception to the rule. 100% of the time, people go, no, I think I'm good. You have an opportunity right there to set yourself apart, to be a rock star employee right there in front of them, okay? By asking some questions. So what I've done here is I've actually written down a couple of questions that you might want to ask, okay? Actually ask these questions. So, what does the perfect candidate for this job look like? Why do you think it's good to ask that question? Just so you know, okay, the answer isn't hard. Why do you think it's important to ask this question? So what does the perfect candidate look like?
So you know how you would fit?
Very good.
You know how to act.
Yeah, you know how to act. They will tell you, Jessica, this is exactly what I'm looking for. And so you can go, okay, evidently that's the impression that I need to give. What does that perfect candidate look like? Next of all, as a manager, what is your biggest frustration with your employees? Some managers will answer that thing, man, trying to get people here on time. Ding, ding. Got to be here on time if I want to be a rock star employee. Man, just people that will do the job without just griping all the time. Boom. Now I know. Don't gripe. It's what they're looking for. Evidently, they've got a bunch in their workforce that gripe. They've got a bunch in their workforce that don't show up on time. They've got a bunch in their workforce that don't have knowledge. They've got a bunch in their workforce that whatever they are frustrated with, they are telling you we've got a bunch of these. So you can step into that company and immediately step over all of those people simply by not doing those things. Does that make sense? I mean, it's cool. And remember, if you add more value to the company, what do you get? More value leads to more money. All right? And I think all of us are okay with the concept of more money. Okay? We're okay with that concept. Next of all, here we go. How about this one? What is the one thing that you wish your employees would do on a consistent basis? Guys, these are good questions. How do they do? Are you okay with these questions? He's like, oh, I don't know, Clay, this sounds weird. These are great questions to ask. So what, something, if your employees could do something across the board, if there was one thing that they could do that would just really make you do cartwheels, what would it be? Well, they would work together really well. Boom, now I know what to do. Well, they would do this, they would do this. They are telling you exactly what they're looking for. They are giving you the blueprint to being a rock star. Okay, this last one. What is the problem you're trying to solve right now that you need the help of your employees to do? Now you're going to have purpose each time you come to work because you're going to solve problems for that person. If I can solve your problems, Jessica, as my boss, I become more valuable. If I become more valuable, I can get more money. All right? Not only do I get more money, the company gets money. Everybody's happy in this situation. So by asking these questions, you are identifying their need and revealing their pain. Guys, this is a great sales tactic in the sales world. Somebody comes in to buy a car. So, why are you looking for a car? What I'm doing is I want to find out where your pain is because I want to be the solution to that pain. So now you're not just sitting in an interview and they're talking to you, but now you are setting yourself up to be the solution to their problem. So but if you said, so where's your biggest pain right now here at work? That might come across weird. So what I'm going to ask them instead is, as a manager, what's your biggest frustration? If your employees, if your group of people, if your team could do one thing and it would just make you do cartwheels, what would that one thing be? Well, it'd be this. Now what you're doing is you're setting yourself up to become the solution. And if you can be my solution, Reuben, then you're going to move up in my brain really quick. That Reuben, he solves my problems. I like Reuben. Clay likey, type of thing. I want to use Reuben more and more because he solves my problems. So the final thing on the interview, and this is something that people rarely ever do. You guys, you've got to ask for the job. Nobody does that. So, Michaela, if you do this, you will set yourself apart from everybody. Ask for the job. What do you mean, Clay? Well, let me break it down. Ask for the job. How do you do that, Clay? I don't get it. Okay, well, let me make this clear. Ask for the job. Michaela, thank you so much for spending time with me today in the interview. This is cool. I'm really seeing a bunch of alignments with who the company is, who I am, what the company is looking for, my skill set. I'd really like to help you. Would you hire me for this position? Bam! Boom! Guys, I'm serious. I've seen this happen, where an interviewer will look across the table and they will go, yes, I will. And you are hired right there. I've seen it happen over and over and over again, simply because the person asked. Have you ever been in that place before where you go to the interview? So, Ruben, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. All right. Do you have any questions? Ruben doesn't have any questions. All right, good deal. Well, we'll get in touch. And have you ever been in that situation where you leave the interview and somebody asks you, so, what's the word? They're going to get back with me. And you wait. And you wait. Anybody been there before? And you wait. And you wait. And you wait. And you wait. I've been in that place before. When? What percentage of people make the decision in the first 90 seconds? 33%. Nice job. 33% make the decision in the first 90 seconds. So if they've already made a decision, let me go ahead and ask. Another way to say this is, so Jessica, how soon are you wanting to fill this position? You know, you've just asked them about their pain, things that are frustrating, things that they're looking for, things that they really need to get fixed in the company. How soon do you want to get those fixed? Man, as soon as possible. Well, I'll let you know. If you hire me today, I'll be here tomorrow morning. We'll get this thing fixed. Do you want to hire me for the job? The interview, I promise, each of these questions will take the interview. They'll be going, oh my gosh, you will stand out from everybody else. Ask for the job. Every time, ask for the job. Okay? I want to encourage you to do that because no one does it. The number one most common mistake at a job interview is that people don't ask for the job. They think the interview's over, so they get up and walk out. Now, the person might say, well, we've got several more people to look at, but we'll be in touch with you. Okay, but you got to ask. You got to ask because they may just hire you right there on the spot, which is a great way to go. So, now finally, as we come to the next step, which is after the interview, as we wrap up here, after the interview, you need to be sure to follow up. So I have a handful of things here that we want to do on a follow-up. We want to get in touch with them in the business world. Everybody say the word email. Okay, let's try that again. Everybody say the word email. Okay, good. Now, in student world, emails, we don't necessarily do that. We do Facebook, we do Instagram, we're doing texting and all that kind of stuff. But in the business world, emails are king. So if you want to communicate with somebody in the business world, in the marketplace, email is going to be a good way to go. Yes, there are exceptions, but they're few. Email is going to be a great way to go. So what we want to do is we want to send an email to the person that interviewed us within the first 3 hours of that interview. Thank you very much. Sure appreciate your time. I look forward to meeting you in the future. Get that email to them. Nobody else is doing this, okay? Everybody else is just going back watching daytime TV, waiting for a phone call, all right? But you're sending an email. Number 2, send a thank you card within 24 hours, okay? Thank you so much, Julie, for spending time with me in the interview. I sure appreciate it. Next of all, if you know another employee at the company, talk to that employee at the company. Hey, I just got through having an interview at your company. Man, it sure would be great if you could put in a good word for me. Now that person is going and talking about you, and it's an inside person. That's a good thing, okay? Also, if you know a person that has influence, they don't work at that company, but it's a person outside the company that has influence in the company, okay? Could be one of your parents' friends, could be one of your teachers, could be one of your coaches, could be one of your teacher's friends or something like that. But you're looking for that door opener for you. You're going to contact that person and ask them to make a phone call on your behalf. to open that door. The key thing is be proactive. Don't just go home and wait. This is one thing that is so frustrating. I've dealt with this over and over and over with young workers coming out of student mindset and entering into the marketplace mindset, into the workplace mindset. And what they do is they'll go look for a job, they'll go interview at one job, and then they will go home and wait for that one job to get in touch with them. As opposed to, no, you need to like have 15 jobs that you've interviewed for. And you're sitting and waiting on 15 while you're going out and getting the next 15. Okay? Got to be proactive with this thing. Which brings me to the final point, which is references. All right? This is something I do quite a bit in my company. I am always seeking out references, testimonies for my company, the value of my company brings to other people. Have you guys ever been to the point where you've asked someone to write a reference for you? Have you done that? Okay, you guys have probably done that. Have you been in this place before where you've called somebody, maybe a teacher or something like that? You do a reference for me? Sure, yeah, I'd be glad to. Okay, thank you. And you hang up the phone, and now you're waiting, and you're waiting, and you're waiting for them to get a reference to you. Have you guys been there before? And now it's kind of awkward. Do I call them back and say, hey, get your butt in gear and give me a reference? I mean, you just don't know if you should do that or not. Here's a great thing to do, all right? When was the last time some adult came and gave you a compliment, Michaela? Think about that for a minute. An adult that gave you a compliment on how you were dressed, on how you presented yourself, on your work ethic. The last time someone gave you a compliment. Here's something I want you to try to do. All right? Say this. Can I quote you on that? Boom. Mind if I quote you on that? Yeah, that'd be great. Bam. You've got it. You go over here, grab your phone, write in what they said. Now you have a written testimony on your behalf. Does that make sense? And so when it comes to follow-up, when you're sending an email follow-up to somebody after an interview, you can add another 20 different written testimonies about how cool you are. Oh, she always looks this way. She always looks really good, always has this energy, great work ethic. Ruben's always there on time. They can talk about you because you have been picking those things up every single day for the last 3-5 months. Can I quote you on that? Ruben, man, you just handled it tonight. Fantastic. Good job at work. Hey, Doug, can I quote you on that? Sure. Doug Mincho, owner of Gaetano's Pizza. Ruben, you rocked it tonight. Is that a good reference? That's a good reference. But if you later on the next day call Doug and say, Doug, would you write a reference for me? Is he going to say, man, Ruben, you rocked it, and get it right back to you? Probably not. It's probably going to come up with some different language or something like that. But man, those are good things to have. So this is a great way for you to gather testimonies. From time to time, if you know the person well, I even want to encourage you to get a video. Just a short little 30-second video of somebody talking about why a company should hire you. Again, I do this with my company all the time, video testimonies after I do a speaking event or when I'm working with one of my clients and they go, oh my gosh, it's just changed our life. That's fantastic. Can I quote you on that? Yeah, man, that'd be great. And I write that thing down. Or I say, could I just get you on video saying that really quick? Sure. Again, it's somebody that I know that would feel comfortable doing that. And I just, okay, ready, go. You know, and the people say, man, if you're thinking about hiring Clay, you need to do this and this because he's done this for me and it's been awesome. Bam. They always finish with a boom or something like that because I say that a lot. And so now I've got a video because in today's world, written testimonies are awesome. Video testimonies, awesomer. Okay? And again, now you have more stuff to put into your follow-up system when you're getting together with people for a potential job, for a potential scholarship, for a potential position somewhere. Does that make sense? Okay? So, what we need to do now at the very end is come up with what are our action steps. Now I know Ruben's over here going, well, Clay, I didn't do any of these things and I still got the job at Gaetano's. Okay, I just did what everybody else did. Exactly. You did what everybody else did. If you really want to set yourself apart, begin to do these things that we've talked about. It will just set you heads and shoulders above everybody else. On the very last page here, page 30, I've got a little infogram where you can take a look at several of these statistics that I used, okay, when it comes to interviewing and looking for a position. So Thank you guys so much. Again, in this session, we're talking about, in winning in the workplace, how to come across in an interview like a rock star. Looking forward to getting together with you in our next session. Bye-bye.